And if I went outside and saw my sister beating up the older person, I'm not going to attack the person. I'm going to grab my sister and say, what the heck is going on here? What the charge should have also been is elder abuse. As I'm listening, I'm thinking, why did they even negotiate down? There are special laws for a group of people. There's a whole additional set of laws for the protection of seniors.
It's just a situation to get out of hand. I'm not a violent person. I have never been arrested. This is my first time being in a fight, being in an altercation with anyone. And this whole situation is it saddens me. It just saddens me because I've never been in trouble before. I've never been arrested before. I've fought 41 years of my life. I've never been arrested. Never had any issues with anyone. It just the situation just got out of hand. And it wasn't, am I muted?
No, you're talking. We hear you.
Yeah, this situation, it was just a sad situation because we've been neighbors with her. We've had troubles with her in prior years. We had trouble with her that summer. She had torn down our fence on the left side of our property, and we called the police for that. That's what led up to the whole situation. The whole situation with the incident is she tore down the fence on the left side of our property. So it was a wrought iron fence. She pulled that up out the ground. And so we called the police on her, and the police came out. They really didn't do anything about the situation. So when we saw her on the right side of our property, she lives on the left side of us. She was all the way on the right side of our property that day. And then she started to break off pieces of our wooden property fence. And then she was tying doggy pads to the fence as well. She had a cat tied to the fence. She had her elderly dog on our grass, and she was breaking off pieces of the fence. And that's what caused my sister to go outside to break her, tell her to get off the property. And I heard all this yelling from the inside of my home. So I came out to see what the problem was, and that's what my sister and Betty Griffin was in an altercation. My intentions were never to go out there to fight her. That was never my intentions. I was going out there to, if you hear yelling and your family members outside and they're yelling and arguing, naturally you're going to go outside to see what's going on. So I went outside to see what's going on, and my sister sprayed her because she refused to get off the property, and she was saying, "This is not your property. It's not your property, but it is our property because it was all the way on the right side of our house. Betty Griffin lives on the left side of the property. She was on the right side all the way to our fence on our property line, and that's where she tied her animals. So it was in fact our property. It wasn't a shared gate at all. Her house is on the left side, and our house is on the right, and she was all the way on the right side of our property. So it is our property. It wasn't a shared space. So it wasn't just like, we just came out there to beat up on an elderly woman. We had problems with her in the past. We've never had any problems with our neighbors before. None of us never have been arrested. None of us never have been in a fight. So it's just a very unusual situation that we find ourselves in. A very unfortunate situation. We're not violent people. My sister have never been arrested. My sister have never been in a fight. I have never been arrested in a fight. We mind our business. It just, because of the prior history, that's why it escalated the way it did, because of our prior history. It wasn't that today we decided that we was going to beat up on somebody. It was an escalation. She was actually antagonizing us by putting her animals on our property, because for what happened the first time, but the police didn't do anything about it, she antagonized us by coming on our property and putting her animals on our grass, and tying doggy pads to the fence. So we're not violent. We're not violent people. I'm not a violent person at all. It's just an unfortunate situation that happened.
Give me. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just regret the whole thing. I am very remorseful. It's embarrassing, and because nothing never has happened like this before. Nothing has never happened to me like this before. I've never been arrested before. I'm just really sad and just just I'm just very sad about the situation.
All right. Give me one moment. I need to speak with the judge. Give me one moment. All right. So the court has had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report, the investigator's report, to hear counsel, to hear the victim, and to hear from the defendant. I usually say I'm ready to impose sentence, but I'm not probably all the way ready, but I'm going to go ahead and impose sentence. And of course, we all probably, know that I'm disgusted by this, that this is not right. And I understand Miss Merriweather is saying that she's never been in trouble before. The situation got out of hand. Miss Griffin is coming not on the property that abuts, not on the common property line, but she's coming on this other side. And the law, there are special laws for a group of people. And then there's a whole additional set of laws for the protection of seniors. And you just don't treat a senior the same way you would treat people in between. So if a person in between is coming on your property, tearing down your fence, you still don't beat them up. That's not what the law says. But it's a different process. It's a different way of handling things. But I can't imagine, as I was sitting here listening to Miss Merriweather, immediately, of course, my elderly neighbor came immediately to my mind. And I just was thinking, what if he started trying to pull up that fence that's in between the property? What if he started tying his animals and came around to the other neighbor's yard and was tying his animals? Or what if he tied his animals right here at the part where we can both, sort of enter and exit our property from this one area? And I was thinking, I would immediately try to get in touch with his children. And I would say, your dad, I don't know what's going on. Your dad is, showing me signs that maybe he's not completely there. Maybe there's because he's tearing up the fence and he's tying stuff to the fence, right? I really don't want to, have to get the police involved, but, have you all noticed anything about your dad? Like, I literally would contact his family. It would never dawn on me to spray him with water. It would never dawn on me to engage him physically. In fact, I would have to call his family to say, your dad was physical with me. And I had to just push him away to get away. Your dad was physical and I had to push him away to get away. I hope I didn't hurt him. This is the conversation I'm having with his family if that was to happen. To my, no, ma'am, it's my turn. It's my turn. I don't want to hear anything else you have to say. That's what I would do with the elderly person that might be clearly exhibiting some signs of mental illness, of dementia, of all of those things. People exhibiting signs of dementia are aggressive. And what they don't need are people under 60 beating them up. What they don't need are people under 60 coming at them with a broom. What they don't need is people start two sisters. And I understand the other person is a defendant. She has not pled guilty. She has not she's not been found guilty. But what she does, what they don't need are people attacking them because they're doing things that clearly might be showing that there is some level of mental illness involved. Now, what the charge should have also been is elder abuse. I don't work in the prosecutor's office. As I'm listening, I'm thinking, why did they even negotiate down to this? That's what I'm thinking. When I'm listening, some stuff shouldn't be negotiated. I was watching some case, and the judge asked the prosecutor, are there any offers? The prosecutor said, no, we're not making any offers. We're not reducing this. This got to go to trial. Because there are a group of people that need protection. Those are elderly people, those are mentally ill people, and those are kids. They need protection. So coming in here saying I've never been in trouble, it got out of hand, that says a lot about the person that you really are. And every person has to take an introspective look at what type of person am I really? Because it doesn't matter what type of person you are when the going is going good, when nobody is bothering you. It doesn't matter what type of person you are when a person who when your neighbor is a beautiful neighbor. It doesn't matter what type of person you are. But when your neighbor is not the nicest neighbor, when your neighbor may be exhibiting some signs of some type of mental illness, distress, or just downright mean. If your neighbor is just downright mean and they're a senior citizen, just stay in your house. Call the police, get a camera. Let the family know, listen, I don't want to have to put your mother in jail. But if she keep doing this stuff right here that's on my camera, I'm going to have to put her in jail because I want the quiet enjoyment of my property. But what we don't do is beat up the people. I remember my mother living in a place, and my mother is hard of hearing, real hard of hearing. That's why I talk so loud. That's why I don't care what people say about how I talk. I don't care. I could care less. They don't know my story. My mother is hard of hearing. She never wore hearing aids until way, way later. So we always talk loud because she needed to be able to hear us. And she wasn't going to admit it was her. So we got to talk loud. And then she moved into a place and she plays her TV so loud because she couldn't hear. And her neighbor upstairs, I don't know if he thought she was doing it on purpose or not, but he started in the middle of the night to get back at her, banging on his floor with something, banging on his floor. And so me and one of my big nephews, we had to go upstairs and let the man know, listen, she's hard of hearing. She's not doing it on purpose. And if you keep banging on that floor, it's going to be a different type of situation. So stop banging on that floor. We're going to work with her to get the TV lower. We're going to try to see if we could get her hearing aid adjusted, but you're not going to keep banging on this floor, scaring our mother and our grandmother. You're not going to keep doing that. That's somebody's mother, sister, auntie, something. That's wrong on every level. This situation is wrong on every level. Every level. Now, I am glad it does appear, I do believe that Ms. Merriweather has remorse. She sounded sincere to me. But then, even after she sounded sincere to me, it sounded like she went right back to justifying her actions and behavior. I mean, an old person would almost just have to be beating me getting ready to beat me with a pipe or pulling out a gun on me in order for me to attack an older person. I would really have to feel like my life is in danger. And if I went outside and saw my sister beating up the older person, I'm not going to attack the person. I'm going to grab my sister and say, what the heck is going on here? What are you doing? I don't know if Miss Griffin was in the wrong. I don't know if she tore up your fence. I don't know. But if she tore up your fence, there's a civil remedy for that. If she tore up your fence, then we get, oh, it's snowing. Then we get cameras. If she tore up your fence, if she putting her animals on the fence and the animals are in distress, call animal control. Call the Humane Society. Call somebody. These dogs, these animals, y'all come save the dogs. Come save the animals. Right? Okay. So I've said my piece, but this is horrible. Let me just say that to you. This is horrible. The court is going to impose the following sentence. Ms. Griffin, she asked me to impose the maximum extent of the law. I'm not going to. This is your first offense. I'm not going to put you in jail, but I can guarantee you this: you don't have room to not do this probation. Probation is the alternative to jail. Jail is the alternative to probation. Probation is the alternative to jail. Jail is the alternative to probation. I do have one slight problem with the offer, but I'm gonna all right. The people's offer was 771 if eligible. They had no objection. Probation, even though they put eligible for 771, they recommended 15 months probation. The court is going to do the following. I am going to okay. So the statute indicates that the court cannot delay sentence longer than 12 months. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to accept the recommendation from probation for a 15-month probationary period. However, I'm going to set the matter for review at the halfway point for the 15 months. So that means she wouldn't be eligible for early discharge until 7.5 months. Then if she doesn't make the 7.5 months, we'll set a probation review. If she completes the probation within the 12-month period that the law says that the court can delay the sentence, then I'll give her the delayed sentence. If she doesn't complete it in the 12 months, she doesn't get the delayed sentence. So it's kind of a delayed sentence. So we're going to say delayed if completed within 12 months, but the probationary period is 15 months.